That was music from the continent, and we hope you enjoyed it. Then Africa comes to you on Saturdays and Sundays at 16 and 18 hours UTC from the English service of the Voice of America. So the Nightline team, Managing Editor Shaka Saleh, reporter Douglas Mpuga, producer Saida Hamdoun, we say a big thank you for joining us tonight. And remember, as the elders say, a blind man gives money to his child to buy kerosene for his lamp when he is. I'm your host, Peter Clinton in Washington. Good evening, Africa.
Here are some of the latest developments in the global coronavirus crisis. U.S. biotech giant Pfizer and German partner BioNTech are seeking approval to roll out their coronavirus vaccine early, a first step towards relief as surging infections prompt a return to shutdowns that and the global economy earlier this year. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, says its vaccines committee will meet on December 10th to discuss the request for emergency use authorization. Russia registers record numbers for daily infections and deaths from the coronavirus 2 days after having passed 2 million cases. Health officials reported over 24,800 new infections and 476 deaths, bringing the national total to over 2.6 million cases and more than 35,700 fatalities at the beginning of the year. Meantime, Russian President Vladimir Putin told G20 News on Saturday that Russia was ready to provide its Sputnik V coronavirus vaccine to other countries who need it. Russia is also preparing its third vaccine instead, adding that the creation of the vaccine portfolio was a common goal. France is preparing to reopen stores for the Christmas shopping season, encouraged by new data suggesting the country is past the worst of its second wave of infections. Thanks to curfews and partial lockdowns, confirmed new infections dropped by 40% last week. Admissions to hospitals fell by 13%, and the number of new intensive care patients was down by 9%, according to the National Health Agency. And U.S. President Donald Trump's eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., has tested positive for COVID-19 and is quarantining without symptoms. This is CA News. Rockets have hit residential areas of the capital of Afghanistan, Kabul, killing at least 8 people and wounding over 30. This is what Afghan officials are saying. The attack happened an hour before a meeting between U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Taliban negotiators in Qatari capital Doha in an effort to resolve peace. The Islamic State group says it was behind the attack. Earlier this week, the outgoing administration of U.S. President Donald Trump announced plans to withdraw. The decision brought concern regarding the Afghan government's ability to deal with militants alone. Safety regulator believes the Boeing 737 MAX is safe after a lengthy safety review. To clear the aircraft for commercial flights in January, its top officials said in remarks were broadcast on Saturday. On Wednesday, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration lifted a 20-month-old grounding order imposed after 2 fatal crashes that triggered cockpit design changes. U.S. commercial flights are due to resume in late December. The executive director of the European Union Aviation Safety Agency told the Paris Air Forum that his organization wanted to carry out out a totally independent analysis of the safety of this aircraft, so they performed their own checks and flight tests. An American jailed in 1985 for spying for Israel was released from strict parole conditions. Moved to Israel. That word came from the Justice Department. Jonathan Pollard served 30 years for giving away classified documents. He was released from prison in 2015, but was confined to the U.S. in all terms. Israel has been allowing to leave. Pollard, 66, was a U.S. Navy intelligence analyst in the mid-1980s when he made contact with an Israel colonel in New York and began sending U.S. secrets to Israel in exchange for tens of thousands of dollars. He passed thousands of crucial U.S. documents to Israel, straining relations between the two allies. Declassified CIA documents released in 2012 indicated that a 1985 raid at Israel on the headquarters of the Palestinian Liberation Organization in Tunis was planned with Pollard's information. Some 60 people died in the attack. Pollard was arrested that year and was sentenced to prison 2 years later. After his release in 2015, he remained subject to a curfew, had to wear a wrist monitor, and was prohibited from working for any company that lacked U.S. government monitoring software on its computer systems.
From Washington, VOA presents Issues in the News. Welcome to Issues in the News. On the panel this week via Skype, Tom DeFrank, contributing editor to the National Journal, Abdurrahim Fukara, Al Jazeera's regional director for the Americas, and